Welcome back to our channel. Today, we uncover the fascinating journey of Randolph Scott, one of Hollywood's most iconic Western heroes. Known for his rugged charm, stoic demeanor, and remarkable versatility, Scott captivated audiences in over 100 films during his illustrious career. But behind the scenes, his life was filled with unique experiences, from his privileged upbringing and military service to his transformation into a legendary star. Join us as we delve into the hidden life, career milestones, and untold stories of Randolph Scott, culminating in his tragic passing. Childhood and early life. Randolph Scott, originally named George Randolph Crane, was born in 1903 in Orange County, Virginia, into a life of privilege that might have paved the way for comfort and ease. But instead of settling for a predictable path, Scott carved out a legacy in Hollywood that spanned over 3 remarkable decades. From an early age, his potential was evident, not just in his affluent upbringing, but also in the prestigious education he received at Woodbury Forest School, a private institution known for shaping future leaders and achievers. Yet Scott's talents weren't confined to academics or refinement. He was a natural-born athlete, standing out as a star in football, baseball, and swimming. This combination of physical prowess and discipline became an enduring part of his persona. Imagine a young Scott diving into pools with graceful precision or dominating the football field with determination, a foreshadowing of the commanding presence he would later bring to the silver screen. It's easy to see how his athletic background shaped his eventual rise to fame in Hollywood, especially in the Westerns, where he often portrayed rugged, stoic heroes. His physical fitness and natural charisma made him the embodiment of the all-American hero, someone audiences could look up to and admire. But beyond the athletic accolades and privileged beginnings was a man driven to prove himself on his own terms. His journey from the football fields of Virginia to the film sets of Hollywood tells a story of transformation, ambition, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. Military service and education. At just 19 years old, Randolph Scott demonstrated a profound sense of duty by enlisting in the United States Army, setting the stage for a journey that would not only shape his character, but also influence his future career. Stationed in France during World War I, Scott served as an artillery observer with the 2nd Trench Mortar Battalion, 19th Field Artillery Regiment. This was no ordinary assignment. It required precision, courage, and adaptability. Imagine a young Scott navigating the battlefields, working amidst the chaos of war, and honing skills that would later become integral to his iconic roles in Hollywood. His time in the Army wasn't just about military service. It was a transformative period that polished his resilience and discipline. Scott's horsemanship flourished during these years, a skill that would later define him in the Westerns, where he often rode tall in the saddle. Additionally, his proficiency with firearms, developed in the trenches, lent authenticity to his portrayals of rugged cowboys and lawmen. It's almost as if fate was quietly preparing him for the iconic roles he would come to embody. After returning home, Scott faced a new battle, one that many veterans encounter, the challenge of rebuilding his life. He resumed his education with determination, enrolling first at Georgia Tech and later at the University of North Carolina. At this stage, his dream wasn't to act, but to play professional football. A natural athlete, Scott had the drive and talent to pursue this goal, but fate intervened again in the form of a debilitating back injury. While this setback could have derailed him, Scott refused to let it define his future. Instead, he shifted his focus and completed a degree in textile engineering and manufacturing, a testament to his resilience and adaptability. Entry into acting and early career. Randolph Scott's entry into the world of acting wasn't just a career move, it was the beginning of a journey that would eventually make him a beloved figure in Hollywood history. His story is one of talent, opportunity, and relentless dedication. It all started during his college years when he first discovered a knack for performing. What seemed like a casual interest quickly blossomed into a lifelong passion. Little did he know, this passion would one day captivate millions of fans around the world. In 1928, Scott's father gave him an extraordinary boost, a letter of introduction to the iconic filmmaker Howard Hughes. This letter wasn't just an opportunity, it was a golden ticket into the burgeoning film industry of the late 1920s. With Hughes's support, Scott landed a small role in Sharpshooters, a stepping stone that introduced him to Hollywood. While the role was minor, it marked the start of a career that would span over 3 decades and leave an indelible mark on the entertainment world. In his early Hollywood days, Scott took whatever opportunities came his way. He appeared in smaller roles in films like Weary River and The Virginian, steadily building his resume. Interestingly, Scott also worked behind the scenes as Gary Cooper's dialogue coach on The Virginian, a position that allowed him to observe and learn from one of the best in the business. His dedication during these formative years didn't go unnoticed. Fans from the era often remarked on his willingness to put in the work, a trait that set him apart from others who relied solely on good looks and connections. But Scott wasn't content with being just another face in the crowd. On the advice of the legendary Cecil B. DeMille, he took a step back from the cameras and headed to the Pasadena Playhouse. The theater was a proving ground, a place where aspiring actors refined their skills and gained confidence. Here, Scott immersed himself in stage plays, demonstrating a level of commitment that inspired admiration. Newspapers and industry insiders of the time noted his dedication, with one publication describing him as an actor who understands the value of hard work and perseverance. Scott's breakthrough moment came in 1932 when he performed in the stage play Under a Virginia Moon. His performance was so compelling that Paramount scouts in the audience were captivated. The news of his talent quickly spread, sparking interest in Hollywood. The studio offered him a contract, officially launching his career. This turning point was celebrated by fans and media alike with headlines declaring, "A star is born in Randolph Scott." Social clubs and fan groups began forming, eager to follow his rise. For audiences, Scott represented more than just a talented actor. He symbolized hope and perseverance. Fans wrote letters praising his humility and natural charisma, and critics lauded his ability to bring authenticity to every role. His journey resonated with a generation that admired individuals who worked their way to success. As one fan famously said in a letter published in Photoplay magazine, "Randolph Scott isn't just a Hollywood star, he's one of us. His story makes us believe in dreams." In Western films. Randolph Scott's journey into the world of Westerns wasn't just a chapter in his career, it was the defining moment that transformed him into an icon of the genre. His Western apprenticeship began humbly, with starring roles in a series of B-movies based on the works of Zane Grey, a legendary author whose cowboy novels captured the rugged spirit of the American frontier. These films, while modest in scale, provided Scott with the perfect canvas to hone his craft and solidify his on-screen persona. In 1932, Scott appeared in Wild Horse Mesa, a film that introduced audiences to his ability to embody the quiet strength and moral integrity of a classic cowboy. The following year, his roles in Man of the Forest and Sunset Pass further established his growing reputation as an actor who could bring depth and authenticity to Western characters. These early performances resonated with audiences who craved heroes that felt both larger than life and grounded in real emotion. By 1934, Scott was proving his mettle with standout roles in Wagon Wheels and The Last Roundup. These films not only demonstrated his versatility, but also showcased his natural chemistry with the Western landscape, whether riding through rugged terrains or squaring off against villains in tense showdowns. Fans and critics alike began to take notice, praising his ability to balance the stoic demeanor of a cowboy with moments of vulnerability that made his characters relatable. As one critic wrote at the time, Scott didn't just act as a cowboy, he became one, living the values that resonated with audiences. Scott's commitment to the genre deepened in 1935 with memorable performances in Home, On the Range, and Rocky Mountain Mystery. These films continued to expand his range within the Western archetype, allowing him to play characters who were not just heroes, but men with a sense of justice and a willingness to fight for what was right. It was during this period that his on-screen presence began to evolve into what would later become his trademark style, a man of few words, but immense action, whose every movement and expression carried weight. For Scott, these early Westerns were more than just roles. They were a proving ground. Each film refined his ability to convey complex emotions with subtlety, whether it was the pain of loss, the determination to protect the innocent, or the grit required to stand against insurmountable odds. His physicality, honed during his athletic youth, made him a natural fit for the demanding action sequences that Westerns often required. At the same time, his thoughtful performances brought a level of sophistication that elevated these films beyond mere entertainment. Audiences adored him. Letters poured in from fans who marveled at his rugged good looks and admired the quiet strength he brought to every character. Moviegoers of the 1930s saw Scott as a symbol of hope and resilience during a time when America was grappling with the challenges of the Great Depression. His characters embodied the values of perseverance, courage, and integrity, qualities that resonated deeply with viewers searching for inspiration on the silver screen. What makes this chapter of Scott's career particularly fascinating is how it set the stage for his eventual rise to the top of the Western genre. These early films might not have been blockbusters, but they were the foundation upon which he built his legacy. The experience he gained, the lessons he learned, and the fans he won during these years all paved the way for the iconic roles that would follow. Diverse roles and recognition. Randolph Scott's rise in Hollywood during the mid-1930s wasn't just a steady climb. It was a testament to his adaptability, talent, and relentless pursuit of excellence. As his career evolved, Scott's choice of roles revealed an actor who was unafraid to step out of his comfort zone and explore diverse genres, captivating audiences with his charm and depth. One of Scott's most surprising moves during this period was his foray into musicals. Starring alongside legends like Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers in Roberta and Follow the Fleet, he demonstrated that he could hold his own in films dominated by dazzling dance numbers and romantic intrigue. Though not a dancer himself, Scott brought a steady, grounded presence to these films, complementing the dynamic energy of Astaire and Rogers. Critics often praised him for his ability to add balance to the glittering spectacle of these musicals, noting that his natural charisma and understated performances helped anchor the more theatrical elements of the genre. In a dramatic shift, Scott also ventured into the realm of horror with Supernatural, where he shared the screen with the iconic Carole Lombard. This role further showcased his versatility, proving that he could handle suspense and tension just as effectively as romance or action. It wasn't just about playing the hero. It was about immersing himself in roles that demanded nuance and adaptability. Fans were intrigued by his ability to transition seamlessly between genres, and his performances left a lasting impression on audiences who saw him as more than just a Western star in the making. By the mid-1930s, Scott's hard work was paying off. His performances were becoming more refined, his screen presence more commanding, and his name increasingly recognizable. A turning point came with his leading role in The Last of the Mohicans, a film that not only elevated his career but also solidified his reputation as a capable and compelling leading man. The film, based on James Fenimore Cooper's classic novel, required Scott to balance action, drama, and romance, a challenge he met with remarkable skill. Audiences and critics alike were captivated, with many noting that this performance marked his transition from a promising actor to a true star. Scott's ascent didn't stop there. Films like Go West, Young Man, 1936, High, Wide, and Handsome, 1937, and Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm, 1938, showcased his ability to connect with audiences across a wide spectrum of roles. Whether he was playing a charming romantic lead or embodying the values of resilience and integrity, Scott had an uncanny ability to make his characters relatable. In Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm, his performance alongside Shirley Temple highlighted his versatility, as he seamlessly adapted to the lighthearted, family-friendly tone of the film while maintaining his own unique presence. What made Scott's rise so compelling wasn't just his acting, it was his consistency. In an era filled with larger-than-life personalities, Scott stood out as an actor who let his work speak for itself. He didn't rely on gimmicks or scandals to draw attention. Instead, he built a career on hard work, careful role selection, and a deep respect for the craft of acting. This quiet determination earned him not just fame, but also the admiration of fans and colleagues alike. Production ventures and peak career. Randolph Scott's career during the 1940s and 1950s was nothing short of transformative, a period marked by iconic performances, creative control, and an enduring connection with his audience. In 1940, Scott starred alongside Cary Grant in the charming romantic comedy My Favorite Wife. The pairing of these two charismatic actors was a box office hit, but it was their off-screen friendship that truly captured the public's imagination. Rumors about their close bond swirled in Hollywood and beyond, igniting fan discussions and media speculation. Fans were captivated by the idea of two of the industry's most handsome leading men sharing not just the screen, but also a uniquely close connection. This intrigue only heightened the film's popularity, making it one of Scott's standout early projects. As America entered World War II, Scott turned his focus to roles that reflected the times, appearing in patriotic war films such as Coast Guard, 1939, and To the Shores of Tripoli, 1942. These movies resonated deeply with audiences, especially those with loved ones serving overseas. Scott's roles as brave military characters inspired many. Fans even wrote letters thanking him for honoring the armed forces. Some veterans even credited Scott's performances with helping them feel represented on screen, a testament to his ability to connect with viewers on a deeply emotional level. In 1945, Scott shifted genres once again, venturing into swashbuckling territory with Captain Kidd. While this film showcased his versatility, it also underscored a growing realization his true strength lay in westerns. By the late 1940s, Scott had fully embraced the genre that would come to define his career. What set this period apart, however, was his decision to take control of his destiny by forming renowned productions, This bold move not only gave Scott creative freedom, but also allowed him to curate projects that aligned with his strengths and vision as an actor. During this era, Scott delivered some of his most memorable performances. Films like Colt, 45, 1950, and Fort Worth, 1951, cemented his reputation as the quintessential Western hero, a stoic, rugged figure who stood for justice in a world often filled with corruption. His characters resonated with audiences not just because of their bravery, but also because of the vulnerability Scott brought to the screen. Beneath the tough exterior, his roles often carried a quiet depth, reflecting struggles and moral dilemmas that felt relatable to viewers. Scott's 1956 performance in 7 Men from Now became a cultural milestone, representing everything fans loved about him. The film was hailed as a masterpiece, with critics praising Scott's portrayal of a lone hero navigating a dangerous and morally ambiguous world. Fans flocked to theaters, and the buzz around the movie elevated Scott's status even further. Social media didn't exist in the 1950s, but fan clubs and film magazines of the era were filled with glowing reviews and letters from admirers expressing their love for Scott's work. Randolph Scott doesn't just act, he embodies the values we all aspire to, wrote one fan in a popular movie magazine, echoing the sentiments of many. The media played a significant role in amplifying Scott's appeal. Interviews with the actor often highlighted his humble nature and commitment to his craft. Unlike some of his contemporaries, Scott wasn't one to seek out scandal or controversy. This authenticity only endeared him further to fans, who saw him as a genuine reflection of the characters he portrayed on screen. Articles celebrating his decision to form Renown Productions described him as a pioneer who wasn't afraid to take risks, earning him respect not just from audiences, but also from industry insiders. Personal life and relationships. Randolph Scott's personal life was a blend of Hollywood glamour, high-profile romances, and a deeply grounded family story that captivated fans and fueled media intrigue. In 1936, Scott married Marion DuPont, an heiress from the prominent DuPont family, a union that seemed like a match made in high society heaven. Their marriage was the talk of the town, frequently splashed across gossip columns and society pages. However, despite the fairy tale image, the relationship lasted just 3 years, while neither Scott nor DuPont revealed much about the reasons for their split. The divorce added an air of mystery to Scott's personal life, leaving fans speculating about the pressures of fame and fortune on their union. Following his divorce, Scott's romantic life became a hot topic for Hollywood gossip. He was linked to some of the era's most glamorous actresses, including Sally Blaine, Claire Trevor, and Dorothy Lamour. These relationships further cemented his image as a suave leading man, not just on screen, but off it as well. Fans eagerly followed every headline, with fan magazines publishing stories that often blurred the lines between fact and speculation. Women admired his rugged charm, while men saw him as a quintessential gentleman. One fan wrote to a popular magazine, calling Scott the perfect blend of a cowboy's grit and a romantic's heart, a sentiment echoed by many during this phase of his life. However, Scott's true love story began in 1944 when he married actress Patricia Stillman. This union marked a turning point, shifting the narrative from fleeting Hollywood romances to one of enduring love. Together, Scott and Stillman built a life away from the spotlight, adopting 2 children, Christopher and Sandra, and creating a family that became his greatest joy. To fans, this side of Scott, a devoted husband and father, was both surprising and endearing. His image as a rugged Western hero softened as the public saw glimpses of his private life, where he prioritized his family above all else. The media celebrated the couple's enduring bond, often highlighting their quiet life away from the glitz of Hollywood. Pictures of the Scotts attending events, smiling with their children, or enjoying private moments together were a favorite of fan magazines. Headlines like Randolph Scott, Hollywood's cowboy with a heart of gold, painted a picture of a man who had found balance between fame and family. Fans admired his ability to stay grounded, and letters poured in praising the couple for setting an example of love and commitment in an industry often marred by scandal. Patricia Stillman played a crucial role in Scott's life, serving as his anchor during his decades in the limelight and after his retirement. Their marriage, which lasted an extraordinary 43 years, became one of Hollywood's longest and most admired unions. Fans often commented on how their love story added depth to Scott's already legendary persona. To them, he wasn't just the hero who stood tall in westerns. He was a real-life hero who valued love, loyalty, and family. Even in retirement, Scott remained a figure of admiration. Fans continued to write letters, many addressed to the Scotts as a couple, expressing gratitude for the joy he brought to their lives through his films and the inspiration they found in his personal story. When Scott passed away in 1987, his marriage to Patricia remained intact, a rare feat in the Hollywood's tumultuous world. Patricia's unwavering support and love for Scott became part of his legacy, and she continued to honor his memory, ensuring that his contributions to cinema and his role as a devoted family man would never be forgotten. Later years and death. Randolph Scott's retirement from Hollywood was as impactful and carefully considered as his illustrious career. After delivering a performance in Ride the High Country, 1962, that is widely regarded as one of his finest, Scott chose to step away from acting entirely. Directed by the legendary Sam Peckinpah, the film was a poignant exploration of loyalty, justice, and aging in an ever-changing world. Scott's portrayal of an aging lawman wrestling with his principles resonated deeply with audiences and critics alike, making it a fitting farewell to a career that spanned over 3 decades. The decision to retire at the peak of his popularity stunned fans and the media. In an industry where many actors hold on to the spotlight as long as possible, Scott's graceful exit stood out. Headlines praised his integrity, with publications like The Hollywood Reporter calling him the man who knew when to ride off into the sunset. Fans took to letters and magazine columns to express their admiration, with many noting how his choice only reinforced the authenticity and dignity he was known for. As one admirer wrote, Randolph Scott didn't just play heroes, he lived like one. In his retirement, Scott turned his focus to faith, family, and a quieter life away from Hollywood. His growing spirituality led to a close friendship with Reverend Billy Graham, a connection that further endeared him to fans. The media frequently highlighted this aspect of his later years, portraying Scott as a man who had traded the glitz and glamour of Hollywood for a life of purpose and reflection. Fan clubs often celebrated this shift, describing him as a role model not just for his on-screen characters, but for the values he upheld in his personal life. Despite stepping out of the spotlight, Scott's legacy remained alive and vibrant. His films, particularly his westerns, continued to draw audiences. TV networks frequently aired his classics, and retrospectives celebrated his impact on cinema. Fans flocked to Western film festivals, where Scott's work was often featured as the gold standard of the genre. Social clubs and newsletters dedicated to his career shared stories, photographs, and memories, keeping his legacy alive in the hearts of his admirers. When Scott passed away on March 2, 1987, at the age of 84, the world mourned the loss of a Hollywood legend. News outlets across the globe paid tribute to his remarkable career in life, with many focusing on his ability to embody integrity and strength both on and off the screen. Fan reactions were heartfelt, with letters and messages flooding tribute columns in magazines. One emotional tribute read, "We lost more than an actor. We lost a symbol of what it means to live with honor." Scott's passing also sparked a renewed interest in his work. Media outlets released special editions and documentaries reflecting on his contributions to Hollywood, particularly his iconic westerns. Younger generations discovered his films, and his fan base continued to grow even after his death. For many, Scott became a symbol of the timeless appeal of Hollywood's golden age, a reminder of an era when storytelling and character were at the forefront of cinema. And that's the story of Randolph Scott, an extraordinary actor whose life and career left an indelible mark on Hollywood. From his early days as a privileged youth to becoming the epitome of the Western hero, Scott's journey is a testament to resilience, hard work, and dedication to his craft. Though he left us in 1987, his legacy continues to live on in the hearts of fans worldwide. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more captivating stories about Hollywood's greatest legends. See you next time.